And we are live with an extremely special guest, boys and girls. I hope you guys are pumped up for this as much as I am. It is Matt Dryden, the OG, man. I couldn't be more happy than to have you on this podcast, brother.
Brother, thanks for having me, man. It's an honor to be here, and there's obviously some big shoes to fill. We've had some amazing guys on your show, so I'm really honored to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Brother, you got some big shoes yourself. I like to tell, and I talked to Rodrigo, Marcos Paulo, Bruno, all the guys. You are the fighter man's man. You know the saying, like, he's a man's man? You're the fighter man's man. You're the hardest worker I know in the city, man. Maybe even, period, the hardest worker I know in the world. And I love that vibe about you. I'm happy to have you on this podcast, and I think there's so much value to gain from your life's experience and what you're currently doing in the world of martial arts.
I appreciate that, man. Really, I do. And look, I tell you, it's not so much hard work when it's something that you love. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I spend a lot of time in the gym. Sure, I'm in the gym a lot.
Yes.
And you know where it shows a lot, and we're doing different things a lot. But again, it's not work if you love it. You know what I mean? Like I'm just doing what I love, hanging out with the boys and just doing our thing. So it's cool, man. I'm enjoying life. It's good.
That's it. It shows tenfold. And that's the thing, Matt, about you. Like the people that don't know you, the people watching that maybe heard about you that never met you in person. Matt is not an easy guy. He's the guy that's going to kick your ass into shape, but he is one of the most considerate and kind guys I know. And this is not flattery. This is fact, brother. Since I've met you, you're the most straight shooter guy I've met in Abu Dhabi. And I really get that vibe off you every time we talk. So I really value that in you.
No, I appreciate it, man. I really, that means a lot. And I hope, that's how I come across, because
Yes,
that's the best way.
that is.
Straightforward, man. Easy.
That is, brother. So I've been like today all day. I get it messages. Gyms are planning on reopening in the UAE. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. What's going on with you guys? Do you see? Are they contacting you about this?
Look, man, there's a lot of things going around, and a lot of talk, but there's nothing really official come to us yet. And it's
I
the same
see.
as when places were starting to close. Again, there was nothing official until it was official, and that's when we closed. You know what I mean? So there is light in the tunnel, of course, and people that are hitting me up and asking me, when are you going to open? It's awesome because they're eager to get back to the gym, and obviously we're eager to get them back. But I think there's going to be some precautionary measures put in place by the authorities on what they expect for gyms to open. They've got the mall open now. Malls open now, and they've got rules and regulations as for people's safety, which is standard.
Right.
But for gyms, it's going to be different, man, because you can't put us in the same categories as a fitness first, because you got your fitness first where, or the commercial gyms, you just go and lift weights.
Yep.
Our
Exactly.
gym is, firstly, it's a mixed martial arts gym. Second to that, it's a class-based gym.
Yes.
So our sort of third category is like lifting in a fitness gym, but you got Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, MMA, your grappling classes, everything on the mat. So if we got to be distance,
Yep.
it's hard. It's going to be tough, but I think, we're going to get there. We're staying positive, and, whatever, man, we'll be good.
I like that, Matt. I was dying laughing because I went through the guidelines of the Dubai. I don't know what they sent you in Abu Dhabi, but there was a few guidelines that made me giggle. First one, it's customers must bring their own mats. I'm like, we're fucked. That's it. We're fucked. Mats is all we got, man. And then the other one was must maintain 2 meters apart. I don't know much guys with 2 meter reaches, but we're fucked in that aspect as well.
Me and Rodrigo, I seen Rodrigo today. We had the same conversation. I'm like, how are we going to open? We're holding pads like, it's going to be like long straights and heaps of
With
overextensions,
sticks.
my man.
Man, listen, if there's a guy that'll find a way around, it's you. Okay, I'm
Hey, I'm thinking
confident.
already. I'm thinking already, man.
Get those broomsticks, attach them to the pads. Let's go.
Right?
Oh,
I'll
man,
come up
what
with
a guy.
something.
I
I'll
love
come
it.
up.
I love it. That's the thing, man. Matt, I feel this about you. In every phase, even way before this whole pandemic, like in the start of what you did with Cobra and what you are as a person, like even before that, you were training Medina Zaid, you were always on the frontier of whatever you were doing, and it didn't feel like you were planning it. You were just doing, and while everybody else is like planning and postponing, you're just doing, and you ended up right on the money every time you put your energy into something. And that's what I like about you. That's why I'm not worried. Like when we talk about this pandemic, what are you going to do about the 2 meters? If there's a guy that's going to figure that shit out, I put my money on you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're trying to engineer ways to make it all work, man.
Fuck
But as I
yeah.
said, look, it's all about people's safety, and we want this to finish and get back to normal as soon as possible. And before we closed, we were like really, really on point with like disinfecting and cleaning and mopping and like boiling hot waters and all sorts of stuff. Just before everything locked down. So because obviously, as I said at the start, people's safety comes first, everything else. So, again, when we open up, that's going to be paramount. So it's all good, man.
It's a fitness center. You rely on the health of people. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
Man, so moving on from like the pandemic and what you're going to do about the reopening, before that, the 30-day challenge, what you're doing online. We're just talking offline, Matt and I, about it. And listen, dude, the quality, it's not like, well, I got a phone up, I got an iPad and I'm recording a workout. Bro, you went Hollywood on us. It's beautiful what you're doing. The 30-day challenge, for anybody that's listening that doesn't know what it is, go check out Cobra Fitness UAE on YouTube and you're going to understand what I mean. It's Steven Spielberg meets Matt doing a workout. It's pretty fucking impressive. And if you want to get shredded, that's the program you want to be following. Did it just happen, or did you plan for this beforehand?
So firstly, I've got to give a bit of credit to my cameraman for the 30-day challenge, because he knows how to polish a turd, my man. He's put the line in the right spot, bro. He can make me look good.
Big time.
Right. So look, we as I said earlier before we started, I wanted to keep people fit.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it's this situation that we're in at the moment. It's not just physical fitness, it's mental strength or mental fitness that's taking a strain as well.
Big time.
So look, some people are doing Zoom classes and charging, and for us is like, I'm not at the gym. I can't train people, and that's what I love to do. So let's just throw up some live classes and see what happens. So we done me and Sam from Bahrain, he done a couple and I done a couple, and man, the following was good. We had a lot of people, and I'm, as I said to you, I'm not an online trainer. I'm not a fitness trainer online. You know what I mean? I'm a CAD man. I'm a boxing Muay Thai trainer. So there was a lot of people, and then we just sort of done live classes each day, and people kept coming, and then we've done some YouTube videos because the timings obviously didn't work for everybody.
Right.
And I'm like, well, Ramadan's coming up, 30 days. Let's do a 30-day challenge. You know what I mean? So
you've never done a 30-day challenge for Ramadan before, have you?
No, every year I've been here for a long time, and every year we try and change our timings for Ramadan and trying to suit, everybody. You know what I mean? We see people are fasting and it's hard to train, and then we try and train later, and it's difficult. So I think this is good, man, because you can train at 1 o'clock in the morning, you can train at 6 in the morning, it doesn't matter. And there's no equipment. So it's all like just household things. And I tell you, brother, you doing the classes, I know you're doing the classes. Yeah. It's hard.
It is.
It's hard, man.
It is, man. And that's the crazy thing. Cause like I've been doing jiu-jitsu like an hour and a half, 2 hours every weekday since this whole lockdown started. And I'm like, I'm in pretty good shape. Then I do your workout. I'm like, I'm not in pretty good shape. Fuck, I need to get in shape. And my wife, my sister, they got into it as well. They're at a different category. And the beauty of what you're doing, all right, let me point out a few things is, and this is a compliment as well as a fact. You do things with heart. You did this with your gut, not with your brain. While a lot of people were doing things with their brain, doing Zoom and charging, creating a curriculum, you just went with your gut. I want to keep people active. I want to do what I love doing. And you just didn't do it with Zoom. So you got like production, you got your cameraman and everything, you put it out there. The program works for people that are not fit and people that are fit. You know how to activate your body differently. Like if you're fit, you know how to go into a plank and to pull in the hips up. You know what you're doing. If you're not fit, then you don't even need to worry about that. You'll get in shape anyways. But just the way you're caring about it, you're a natural. Pad man turned online man.
This is the thing I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. But like the thing was that the whole thing is our motto or our mantra in the gym is like push till you spew. Like we're gonna fuck shit up. You know what I mean? Like that's how we can. But that mentality or that mantra is for everyone. Yeah. Everyone. Like you, for example, you're gonna smash out the exercise, the hardest level, but then your mother or your grandmother or your auntie or your sister or someone else is going to do it at a lower level, but they can still do it. They can still get the results. So it's like, it's not about, it's just about everyone training and getting results and at their hardest level, push till they spew, what I mean?
That's the beauty. That's where like the experience shows in your knowledge with strength and conditioning, that you can design a program online 20, 30 minutes and activate all levels of fitness. And I love that. And it's not dangerous. Like everything that you were doing was, I was looking at it, I'm like, how people watching online, you can't watch them. That's usually the problem in fitness classes. They say if it's 30 people, how can the coach watch everybody's form? You're picking the right exercises. That's experience. You know, when you're doing the Spider-Man planks, when you're doing the planks, these aren't exercises that are high risk. They get the job done and they're not high risk. So I appreciate that. I want to ask you now, like, let's say the pandemic's over, life goes back to normal. Do you keep the online curriculum?
That's a very good question, mate. We'll see what happens. Look, I'm to be honest with you, I'm enjoying it and my style of training, because for the past few years, it's just been really isolated, heavy lifting. And now having to do these classes, and like it's good because I have to do it and I don't get a rest. You see that I'm dying as well, right?
You're shredding.
I'm actually enjoying it. Man, I'm dying, bro. I'm dying. So I'm enjoying it, man. And look, if there's still a demand for it, which I think there could be, like Ben Lucas, one of our Thai trainers, me and him, we've done a video the other day, and I posted it just before we started the challenge. And it was a home Muay Thai workout with no bags, no pads. You know, it's just like drilling set techniques and just going over it and over it. And it's a tough workout, you know. So I'd like to still offer people that things they can do. You know, you pilot or you're a crew or you're somewhere and you're going to train, you haven't got a partner to hold pads, you haven't got a bag, like jump on and smash out these boxing workouts, jump on and smash it. Anderson from our gym in Bahrain, he'd done a jiu-jitsu workout with just his gi and his belt. So it's like just drilling moves. So you're still getting fit, and it's hard, man. So yeah, I'm keen to do it. If I'm keen to kick on and see how it goes.
Brother, I tell you what, like this pandemic has revealed a lot of negatives around us, our communities, our society, but it's also revealed a lot of positive, especially for businesses willing to listen. And on that frontier, man, I see this potential making Cobra totally international. Like you've expanded, you've done a great job moving into different areas in the Middle East, but I can see, because of the quality you're giving out, the interaction, your brand awareness will just skyrocket, because now everybody in Kuwait, Bahrain, Saudi, London, Australia, they can do your workouts. You're infinite now, and I really like that. Whether it's for free or you start making specific programs. The only issue, like when talking with people about online, martial arts and fitness are different, right?
Yeah.
In the end of the day, okay, Muay Thai, you can come up with some cool things, but they need a person to punch in the end of the day. And the same goes with Jiu-Jitsu and whatever. But fitness, you can, and you're clearly doing it already. So do you ever stop, Matt, to think of, holy shit, how it snowballed from when you first got here to where you are today?
Man, I tell you what, sometimes, like, because usually we're just so busy, like, what's next? What are we doing? What are we doing? And then sometimes, and usually it's like after we do a show, or, you know, someone brings it up to me.
Nice.
And you're like, shit, yeah, you're right, man. Fuck, you know, that's cool. But it's not like anything that we do or anything that I do, it's never sort of for that. It's just like, yeah, fuck, that's a sick idea, man. Let's do that. You know, like, that hasn't been done, or, you know, that's lacking, or we're missing out this, let's do it. You know what I mean? And then we do it, and then it works. And then someone comes and like, whoa, man, that was cool. And like, oh shit, yeah, it was pretty cool. What's next? You know, let's go again.
And that's the whole thing about going with your gut. You're not overthinking it. You're not planning, well, I want to do this so that I can say, oh, wow. You're doing it because you just want to fucking get it done. And then it just so happens that it's fucking incredible what you end up doing. It's invigorating to see, man. Can you talk to us?
It's all with heart, man. Everything we do is because we love to do it. That's why. And I think that's why, like, is I don't know how it sounds, but I think that's why we have whatever success we have, is because it's with love. You know what I mean? We want. It's not like, what can we do? How can we, you know, grow or make coin or whatever?
Absolutely.
We love it.
Absolutely. And it's funny, man, because like we say it like it makes sense, but some people, for financial reasons, sometimes not even their choice, they get confined into a box, but they allow themselves to remain in that box. It's not about whether you can or can't. It's about how long you're willing to take that. Like, convert it into passion. You see so many people that started out businessmen, walk through your gym's doors, got exposed to whatever martial art they did through you, and then they found that, like, that niche for them, that click, and you open that door to a future. You're not just providing fitness and martial arts, you're giving people a sense of their dream, awareness of their own body's potential. And that's the real magic of what you do, Matt. You are a creator of dreams, man.
It's awesome, bro. I love that.
It is, brother. So in order for everybody to understand, some people might not know Cobra Fitness UAE. if they live under a rock in the UAE, but from outside, how did it all start? Like, where does it come from? You're originally Australian, right?
I am. So I'm told. I'm Australian.
So you're told.
So look, man, I moved over here 2007. I moved over in 2007,
Wow.
and
Okay.
it's been a while. Yeah, I had a lot more hair then, a lot less grays.
That was a rough year to arrive too.
Well, hey. So I moved over here, and look, I was looking to continue on in my fight career, and I looked for a gym, and basically I couldn't find the standard I was looking for. I couldn't find what I was after, what I was used to.
Got you.
And I was working hospitality at the time. And then I had a pair of pads from my old gym in Australia. So I just thought, I'll just hold some pads for the boys that I work with, and they can do the same. So that was, I think I started playing that game around, I think it was 2008 maybe. And then from 2008, it was just like, it was very, very organic how it grew, because we started at a sports club on the Corniche, and I was like doing a profit split with the dude who owned it. It was a taekwondo club, and they did ballet, and they did like proper dancing, and it was like, old school joint.
Nice.
And it went from like 4 people a week to 8 people a week to 12 people. It was like, well, shit, and I wanted to do this so I could continue training.
Right.
I could continue doing my thing. Right. It was like, next thing I started training other people, and they started coming, they just kept coming. And then we went from, that's Brody Sports Club is what it was called on the Corniche. We went from Brody Sports Club, and we went to the one-to-one hotel.
Yes.
So we started doing classes out of the one-to-one hotel. That was when it just opened. So we're doing one-to-one hotel, and we're doing Hilton hotel. So at this stage, I was doing those two classes,
right.
And that was probably 6 days a week. And I was working in hospitality.
Okay.
So I was burning the candle both ends, basically.
How old were you approximately when you first got here?
Shit, I should know that. About 23. I think I was 23.
So you're young, and man, you're hustling. You hit the ground running when you got here.
Yeah. So it wasn't the plan. The plan was just to continue doing my thing.
Yeah.
So we're doing the Hilton, and we're doing one-to-one, and I was working in a hotel, in a bar.
Okay.
And then it was sort of like 16 hours a day, every day. And then it got to a point where it's like the money that I was bringing in training people was equivalent, to what I was doing working in a hotel. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's just see what happens. So then we went from Hilton and one-to-one to, where did we go from there? Hilton one-to-one.
Medina Zayed?
We went to Zayed Sports City. Yeah.
Zayed Sports City. Sorry. Yeah. Zayed Sports City.
Yeah. Did we go anywhere else before that? I think, no. Zayed Sports City.
Yeah.
And then it sort of just started. That's when things started to really like happen. But mind you, if you didn't love it, it wouldn't have happened, because this is like 6 a.m. starts to 10 p.m. finishes every day.
100%.
But I was loving it. You know what I mean? I was doing all the classes. I got to a stage where I was running like 20 kilometers a day. And because I was running 2Ks with every PT. I was doing 10 PTs a day, or 8 to 10 PTs a day, and then running 5Ks with the fighters class. So I was like, it was the right, I was the right age category to be doing it.
Thank God. Yeah.
Different story now, man.
Exactly.
So, and then things started picking up. It was a really underground boxing gym, Thai gym, and it was sort of for guys that, or anybody that really wanted to train. It wasn't a pretty gym. It wasn't you walk in and go, oh, wow, this is nice. It was like dingy underground boxing gym, but it was real.
Are you talking about real. Cobra now?
That was before.
That was Cobra. Zayed Sports City. Because, like, dude, just to stop you there, because there's a lot of context as well to add to the story of yours. For one, if somebody was to sit down and think through what you were doing, they wouldn't do it. That's why there weren't many people doing what you do back then. They only started doing it when they saw people like you really succeeding at it. And the second thing, man, the amount of times I never knew you then, I heard Matt, because I was doing boxing. And everybody I talk to, they're talking about the guy that will get you shredded and the guy that will get you punching like a fucking phenom, Matt. That's why I started like searching for you until the like fate aligned and we met finally. Right. So Zayed Sports City, that was your first like boxing, fighting sort of environment that you created, right?
Yeah, so I actually, since you dropped that in there, Haddon's. I
Yeah.
didn't want to put it in there, but I actually opened
Because
Haddon's
that's in the
with
back of my
Michael
mind
Haddon.
when I remember you.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure.
yeah, I opened that gym with him, and I stayed there for maybe 3 or 4 months, and
Okay.
then just things didn't work out.
Okay.
So, because obviously he had his plan of where he wanted to go, and I wanted to focus more on just straight
Naturally.
up boxing Muay Thai. So we moved up to the stadium, and that's the underground gym. That was when there's like no air conditioning, no natural light, there was no mats. It was just underground, man.
The mat environment.
Bro, I loved it. I
Yeah,
tell
I
you that, I
know.
loved that
I
gym.
know. I can just imagine you just happily running around there.
Man, so good.
Okay, so you do that for how many years?
So we're there for a few years. We
Wow.
went to, when did we move to? We moved to Banda in the gym we're in now in September 2013.
And you were calling it Cobra before, or you called it Cobra then?
So it was Cobra Muay Thai back
Okay.
in Zayed Sports City,
Okay.
because it was purely like a Muay Thai and boxing gym.
Yes.
Jiu-Jitsu, I never knew anything about it.
Right.
And then we moved into Banda, and then we thought, well, it's not going to be just a boxing gym. It's going to be more of a for everyone. You know, we want to have fitness. We want to have, you know, Johnny and his wife come as well. And Johnny's a
Yes.
boxer, and his wife does something else, spin or whatever. You know, so we want
Right.
to make it for everybody, because now it went from like a fight club to more of a business. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we have to sort of look at it more of as a business.
You had to polish the rough edges.
Exactly.
Okay.
For everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matt, like leading up to all of this, coming here from Australia, were you always in a fitness background, or is it something you stumbled on?
No, so I from very young age, actually, I was at a higher level of fitness, I guess. I started playing very high level Australian football when I was sort of 13, 14, and I was representing my state and you know, at a high level right
Wow.
through until I was about 17, 18. And then that's when things go different ways, and I ended up getting into boxing and then
Nice.
but hey, look, wouldn't change a thing, man. I'm where I am from that. So
Absolutely. Exactly, man. And that's the thing. Like, for the people that haven't gone to Australia, I had the fortune of visiting in Melbourne only, and I was
yeah.
shocked about something. I woke up in the morning from I had a really late flight, arrived like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I sleep. I wake up again at 6 a.m., go out of the hotel, I want to walk around. I step out and I look, and like a shitload of bicycles pass by and a bunch of people running. I'm like, fuck, is there a triathlon? Let me go pass
I
by.
knew you were going to say this.
Yeah, man.
I knew you were going to say this.
Dude, I really thought there was a fucking event going on, because I'm from Abu Dhabi and you don't see this many bicycles in the morning. And it's just Australia being Australia. Like, people there love their fitness and they take it very seriously.
Yeah, like we think of fitness or sport as our religion. You know what I mean? Like the whole of Australia stops for the AFL Grand Final. You know what I mean? The whole of Australia stops for a horse race in Melbourne. You know what I mean? So
I get
we
you.
love it.
So that's where that drive you guys have for whatever it might be, whether it's football, whether it's rugby or martial arts. And martial arts is growing enormously in Australia now.
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's massive. And you know, even back in the day, you know, when Muay Thai was still not as popular now, you know, when it was sort of underground, some of the best fighters out of Australia, man, and even now, still today, you know, some of the best Thai fighters, you know, at certain weight categories coming out of Australia. Some amazing boxers in Australia, some guys in the UFC, obviously out of Australia. Like it's good, and I think you know, it's only getting stronger, and it's good. It's good for us. It's good for the sport. It's good for fitness, really.
Sure. Matt, do you think it has to do with the proximity of Australia to Thailand?
I think the Thai, like Muay Thai in Australia could be, yes.
Okay.
But I think also, you know, just with the explosion of UFC and, you know, the ONE FC and Bellator and, you know, all these huge high level combat events, it just grows in popularity and people exposed to a lot more. Back in the day, you know, you didn't see it. You had to really search for Muay Thai and really search for kickboxing as well.
Yeah, but the Australians had a leg up. They were physically ready. That's the thing. Like, I see the Balkans and Australia as quite similar because they come from a very solid fitness background. And it just so happens that most of the Balkans moved to Australia in the 90s. But you guys have something in common, which is most of the guys are very well built, very tough, and they're like ready for wrestling style, MMA style sports. So you're setting up this fight center now. It's not a fight club. Now it's a fight center because their wives can come as well. And and it,
I'm sure that's sexist somehow. I'm sure that's like the wrong thing to say.
you know what? You know what's funny? It can start off as sexist, but then the women that train at your club know that it turned back into a club eventually. You couldn't keep it as a center too long. It's, man, like there's no two ways of putting it, and there's no point in hiding it. Your center is for the real. It really is. I'll just put it that way. I'm no diss on anybody in their fitness journey or whatever it is. But if you want to get real, and if you want to really take action and have somebody command your fitness and get you to that level, you need that level of support system. And you have that environment in spades in Cobra. 100%. I get intimidated sometimes walking to your gym because I know, man, when I get in there, I'm going out fucking sweating. There's no way I'm going
100%.
out dry.
100%. And look, man, I think people come to our gym and they are intimidated when they first come.
Yep.
But once they get in and have a go, if they're serious about getting fit, regardless of their level, regardless of their abilities, you know, it's amazing. And they leave like, man, this is amazing atmosphere. It's a family. Hooked. They love it. You know what I mean? Exactly. So, you know, it's people come to me and they're like, oh, you know, they're talking about they're joining the gym, or I'm thinking about joining here, or I'm going to join here. Can you show me around? Yeah, I'll show you the gym. I'll tell you what we're doing.
Yeah.
They're like, you know, it's cheaper here. Why should I train here? And I say the same thing to them. Listen, train everywhere else first.
Yes.
And then come here. Don't start here. Yes. Start there, and I'll see you in 6 months. And I see him in 6 months.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
If you're serious, I'll see you soon. If not, enjoy.
You have a very nice balance of your culture, your background. Australia, the West. Well, not really the West. You guys are East, but you get what I mean. But you also have a nice balance of an Arabic culture, because you strike me as a person that knows, you have your finger on the pulse of the Middle East. You know how we work. As an Arab, when I met you and I talked to you, I didn't feel a cultural boundary between me and you. You were generous. You had this approach about you that made me feel like, holy shit, this guy like grew up around us. Like, and I felt as an Arab comfortable with you, and then the Westerners feel comfortable with you because you've got that experience. To add as well, I mean, you're a powerhouse couple, not an individual, because you and Mira are two badasses, man. You both dominating in the businesses that you're going. Mira Ferrali, shout out.
She's the strong half. She's a strong half.
Man, so we grew up knowing each other as family friends, right? And Arlukan is historic in Abu Dhabi. It's the first of the first. Again, you guys are pioneering shit, both of you. So I like the pair, man. You got the food and you got the fitness. And as well, like I see her like killing it in the gym as well. So you guys are pretty much living that lifestyle. It's not just a business for you, it's your life.
Man, look, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky with Mira. It's amazing, you know, the situation we got together. Obviously, you know, we fit together perfectly. We have, you know, an amazing relationship. Her business complements my business. She loves the gym, you know, and a lot like, you know, in every job, in every business, you know, you struggle sometimes. You need to sort of bounce ideas. She's always the rock next to me to, you know, like, this is what you got to do, you know, straighten yourself out, do this, you know, like support, man. It's amazing. And with my shows, like, I'm an asshole, man. When I'm putting on a fight show and it's like a week out, I'm a wreck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But obviously. Yeah.
She's always there. She puts up with my shit. She supports me. She helps. Yeah. You know, Aliquin or Vegan ISO second company, the sister company of Aliquin, gets involved, supports the events. Like, it's amazing, man. Like, Aliquin's killing it. Obviously, being there in the country for, you know, 40 plus years says enough, you know what 100%. I mean, for how good they are.
100%, man. And you know, just to add to what you say, both of you and Mira share a trait that makes you special people in business. It's your generosity. You say you're an asshole or whatnot. I had an event experience with you. I was as 86 Cycles. Remember, we sponsored one of the fight nights. Man, you got shit done. You got shit done the right way, and like, it was a very nice event, but at the same time, you're so generous and considerate to anybody that dealt with you. I saw that, man. It wasn't a business transaction. It was like you just gave way more value than I was putting up. You know, it made me feel like I want to return it somehow to you.
Well, this is the thing, man, and this is how I approach every show and most of the things I do. Yes. You know, I was much appreciated of you and your company getting on board, because it was a good match. You know, you're an extreme motorcycle shop, you know, 100%. Doing your thing, and it was an extreme event. So it was a perfect match. But I don't want you to, or you or any other sponsor or anyone else involved to go, you know, it was all right. Yeah. I want you to go, man, that was amazing. We got so much exposure. Thanks. And want to come back. You know what I mean? You were happy with what you got for what you invested. And if you
Absolutely.
weren't, that would spread. And it would mean that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. So
Absolutely.
they're going to get exactly what they deserve plus. You know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean?
That,
For
that
getting involved, risking themselves.
You know what? Listen, I'm gonna plug this, and I don't give a shit if any sponsor potentially is listening for any fight event that this guy works for. This guy was ready to put my logo on people's asses, man. This guy was going above and beyond. I'm like, bro,
We should have.
I'm like, calm down, man. Maybe we should have known. But I tell you, I definitely came out of that happy. I had a blast. Forget the sponsorship business side. I had a blast at your event, and like I feel like you've got so much going on because you're not confined to where you are. I read one of the articles about you and Mira as the power couple, and you said something. You and Mira like to every now and then take a vacation, and when you're on those vacations, Mira's looking at food-related stuff, and you're looking at fight-related stuff. How much inspiration do you really get from these? Like, do you come back with like this new brainchild to experiment with?
Bro, it's so crazy because, like, you know, we go. I can remember recently went to Bali and we're in Bali, and like Mira says to me, "Oh, there's a Muay Thai gym around the corner. You know, we should go and check it out." I'm like, "Oh, you know, we can." No, come on, let's go and check it out. Like, we're on holidays.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, my wife wants to go and check out the Muay Thai gym.
I
You know what I
love
mean?
it.
And then we're going to vegan cafes and different places for breakfast. And I'm like, "Oh, this bowl's all right, but your bowl, you know, you added this. It was amazing." You're like, have a break, man. Let's just have a break. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's never, because
Difficult.
it's not work.
Yeah.
It's not work, bro. It's passion. We love it, man. We love it. You know, she's a absolute culinary genius. And every night, I'm sure she thinks she's getting sick of me saying it, but she cooks like unbelievable things every night.
At home
like,
too?
At home, brother. At home.
She does
every
all
night.
of that, and Arlokan, she comes home and she continues. Wow, that says it all, man. You guys are aligned on so many things. It's beautiful to hear, and man, I love it. It's exciting because I know if there's people with their fingers on the pulse on health and fitness, it's you guys. You're our people, our North Star in Abu Dhabi, and I'm excited for that. And another thing for people to know is I like your Facebook page, and you're saying Matt Dryden, jack of all trades in Cobra, which is true because, man, you're doing pad work, you're managing the business, you're hiring. You're like, how do you balance all of this? Like, where do you balance actually being involved in the gym and managing the gym?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. It's tough, you know. Like, I think I'm definitely more of a hands-on guy. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit back and try and manage it from emails and do things. And that's a lot of things I let slip. A lot of things I let slip because I'm just not on my email, and I'm not,
Sure.
you know, following up things and not trying to corporately grow the business. I'm doing PTs all day, classes all day.
Yes.
You know, and I'm you know, training some amazing fighters as well. So it's tough, but, you know, I got help, man. I got an amazing team with me. And you got Sam in Bahrain, who's running the ship over there, and, you know, Kieran. I don't know if you've seen Kieran fight on one of my events, an English boxer. He's stepping into a management position in the gym.
Nice.
My reception staff and my assistants, you know, like, they do everything. And when we look at hiring somebody, it's like, okay, you know, you're getting hired as this position, but are you happy to do everything? You know what I mean? Because that's going to be your job, you know, because that's what I do. You got Jurez now. He's working for us, Crazy Cameroon.
Oh, what does he do?
And what doesn't he do?
Yeah, because, man,
That's
the guy's a machine. He's a robot.
So he's doing, like, he's teaching a kids class, and then he's going to mop the mats upstairs, and then he's coming down doing a PT, and then he's filling some bags, Hard Knocks orders, you know, like, that's the thing. And the family, my family, because it's not my staff, it's the family, you know, we're doing everything. Everyone's doing everything, and that's why it works.
Wow. Man, and
yeah.
Do you feel like you got to a point where you had to evolve into that as well? Because, like, in the beginning, I'm sure you could manage it, and you're like, I can do this, I can handle this, and then between age and, like, you've grown a lot, man. Like, Cobra is not a 100-member gym anymore, too. It's like a pretty big gym now. So do you see the need to having to go a bit more commercial? Like, what's the struggle between being a fight club and going commercial?
Yeah, I've always wanted to make sure that we never sell out. You know, we never, like, turn into one of those, like, commercial gyms.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to kind of gauge from you.
Yeah, I never want to do that, and I won't ever do that. And if that means limiting a level of success to a degree, then we'll limit it. You know what I mean? Because you're going to come to my gym because it's my gym. You're going to come to it because it's Cobra Fitness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
If we, like, for example, if you franchise the business,
Mm-hmm.
that's just a diluted faction of what you're doing. You know what I mean?
100%.
So we won't go down that track. You know what I mean? Like, we want to. I'd rather be less successful, not commercial. You know what I mean? Like, it's still that atmosphere, that Cobra family. We bleed green.
Yeah.
You know, it's crew.
I love it, and that's a big success factor. Like, another thing you experience, I've dealt with some franchises in the past, and you realize the franchise business is a real estate business. It doesn't matter if it's food, gym, or anything. It's just real estate. The brand, you're right, gets watered down. But when it comes to a fight environment, your core is in your ability to generate results for clients that are looking for health and fitness results, and fighters that are successful. And man, you have that in spades. The guys that are training in Cobra, the crazy Cameroonian, Bruno, Marcos Paulo, who decided to get into MMA and he's training in your environment, Rodrigo Zimpica, who's training there. You've got heavyweights in Cobra. You don't have like the average Joe getting success there. And that just speaks to what you're saying of staying authentic and being a fight club. These guys wouldn't flock to you, wouldn't be around this environment if they didn't feel it. Like, Zimbica is as real as it fucking gets, and he loves you. And that tells me a lot. When Zimbica keeps talking so highly of you, I'm like, man, there's things about Matt I don't know. And I need to respect that hustle. So,
yeah, Rodrigo, he's the man. You know, look, again, it's all sort of like real attracts real. You know what I mean? And
100%.
Like, it's the guys in the gym, you know, like Bruno and Marcus, Cameroon, Rodrigo's obviously, he's been with us for ages, you know, like even our amateurs that are coming up, young Khaled Al-Breaki, he's 17, 18-year-old, he's on fire, you know, he's Emirati kid, he's gonna be the next thing, man. He's killing it. Guys like this, and you know, the girls, Caroline, Milena, some young girls coming up, just won national championships. These guys, it's not just because I'm training them. It's because guys like Rodrigo are giving his knowledge, and Bruno's, you know, teaching Marcus Paulo a lot, helping Cameroon a lot. You know, it's not coming from me. It's coming from us, you know, us as a whole.
Yes.
Rodrigo coming to my gym, man, 7, 8 plus years ago, with a friend of mine. He came in for some sparring ahead of one of his huge fights, Paul Daly.
Yeah.
He come in for some sparring leading up to that fight, and you know, things just sort of went on from there. Then, you know, he got some, you know, he learned, he come out of our gym with a little bit more of his stand up. Then he had another fight coming up against Jimmy Judo, and he come to us for his stand up, which was amazing because he's a dude that like knows what it takes. You know what I mean? He's going to train because he needs to train. He wants, he's hungry. He's going to train. And that's discipline. And it showed, you know, his fight was amazing. You know, from 2 months of camp in our gym, got him, you know, he got to where he got to. And that's obviously with his dedication. So what I'm trying to get at is like the people that are there, it's not like I'm not giving it to them. They're giving it to each other. I'm just sort of helping, you know what I mean? We're helping each other, and that's the family, man. That's the family. You know, Cameroon's got a fight coming up. Bruno's going to kick his ass. I'm going to kick his ass. Marcus Paulo's going to kick his ass. He's going to go and he's going to kick their ass, and then it's from us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. It's amazing how like things fall together in place, and people, how can I say, they attract each other. Whether you call it law of attraction, whatever it is, but you and Rodrigo have interesting connection. Rodrigo was talking to me on my podcast, and you heard it, I think. He mentioned about his Teresópolis in Brazil. I asked him, how many talents are there in jiu-jitsu? How many people are there at a world-class level? He's like, thousands. He's like, UAE maybe has 50, 100. We have thousands. How many of them actually get to the big stage? How many get to showcase it? 1, 2, 3. What you create and what his instructor in Brazil, right? Ursula Bita, and then when he went to Rio de Janeiro, Gordo, they created the platform for these guys to be able to live that dream. These talents, because maybe we have thousands of talents in Abu Dhabi. We don't even know about it in the UAE. But without an environment and a family of having Rodrigo, Marcos Paulo, Bruno, the crazy Cameroonian, Matt Dryden, those talents will just turn into accountants. You know what I mean? Like you might never see them fight. And that's the beauty of it, man. We need more places, and we need that environment to grow together, not against each other. I see that as a big thing in this MMA scene. I wanted to touch up on your initiative to start promoting MMA. Because first thing, you got the gym center, you're working your ass off, personal training, morning to night, managing. Hey, let me add another thing to this. Let me make an MMA promotion.
Not busy enough.
No, I'm not busy enough. Let me add something. So where does that train of thought come in?
So it actually, when I first moved here, I was working in a hotel, as I mentioned, and I was with my boss at the time, who now is a very good friend of mine, and we were in the ballroom of the hotel, and I'm like, man, this ballroom, this is perfect for a fight show, bro. And this is like 2007. This is like, I've been here for 3 months.
Right.
I'm like, wow, this is perfect for a fight show. And he's like, oh yeah, cool. And we left it as that, and it stayed there. I'm like, man, there's not much going on here. And then, I'd seen in I think it was like Time Out or like Abu Dhabi Week or whatever, the newspapers that were going around. And I was like, I seen afterwards there was a fight in Dubai. And I was like, well, I didn't even know that this was happening here. Like, where's the marketing for? I don't even know. I would have gone. I would love to have gone.
Right.
So then, fast forward a little bit, I think it was when maybe just before we went to Zayed Sports City. We might have been in Zayed Sports City then. We were in Zayed Sports City. We decided to put on a fight show, and the first fight show was actually in the Aloft Hotel, not long after it opened, on the rooftop in the outside area.
Wow, nice venue.
Man, that was 2010. That was 2010. Because I tell you what, a lot of hotels back then didn't want to touch a fight show.
Fuck no, not even with a stick, man.
Nothing. And it wasn't about money, or it wasn't about, they just didn't want to have anything to do with it. So I don't know how we managed, but we managed to get Aloft on board. And it was a promotion called State of Origin, and this is an Australian football competition. It's a New South Wales versus Queensland, will happen every year. So it was Abu Dhabi versus Dubai, and I don't know. I think you could say it was a success. I guess.
All right.
There was some good fights. It was.
Why are you laughing?
Because it was, man. Just thinking about it now to how things are today, it was like putting a fight show in your backyard, man. You know what I mean? Like, you just put a boxer in and stick some spotlights, and that's
Throw
it.
A tequila bottle.
Exactly, bro. But it was good. And that was sort of the first event. And then from there, it was like, there's not enough events. There's not enough shows. And especially homegrown local events, you've got promoters that will come in from outside and, bring in some big name fighters and charge you 300 dirhams a ticket to come watch some dude you don't know and not put any undercards or local fighters on. Yeah. And who gives a shit, man? No one gives a shit about that. You know what I mean? I want to see the dude from down the street fight, or the guy that trains next to me, or, someone. You want to have that camaraderie, and that's what was lacking. So it was like, it's missing. My boys are training all the time, and we're having some shitty deals in Dubai, like on some of the fight shows. We'll get in, rough draws and it was terrible mismatches and whatnot. Is very difficult. It was very difficult to sort of for it to be legitimate and regulate with regards to even matchups. So I'm like, well, fuck it.
Because you're also trying to look out for your fighters. You want to pair them correctly. You don't want it to be random and all that shit.
Look, man, if you jump in, you jump in the ring for a boxing bout in 3 months and you lose, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you lose.
Yeah.
If you get beat by someone that's better than you and you get hurt and you don't enjoy it, why are you coming back? Yeah. It's a sport, man, especially at amateur level. So if you're fighting a dude who's even had one fight and he's had 30 and you get flogged, okay, whether you win or lose doesn't matter. But if you're not having a good time and it's not fair,
right,
then what's the point, man? And that's the problem. That was how it was going. So I just thought, oh, fuck it, why not? Let's see what happens. And then Hard Knocks 8, bloody 8 years later. So
you started calling it Hard Knocks from 2010?
So we had it was State of Origin then by Cobra Muay Thai. And then fast forward, we're like, well, I want some gloves for my guys. I have to go to Thailand and bring some twins gloves back. I have to bring bags and bags of equipment back so it's quality, because there was nothing here.
Right.
And I'm like, well, why am I keep doing this? There's got to be a better way. And everyone dabbles in making their own gis and making their own gloves.
Very true.
If it was that easy, man, there'd be 1,000 different companies out of here.
Yes.
So it's a long process, and we definitely spent time and money and effort into making some quality products. And then we're like, well, we've got some products. We'll just call the fight show Hard Knocks because we're pumping up our own brand, and
absolutely
it's organic and it's working. So
it gelled well. Now here's the thing. Every promotion has its uniqueness, right? I don't like to see it as one promotion is better than the other. They all promote talent to come out and train. but every promotion has its value proposition. Your promotion, as a fighter, I'm trying to build a career. What's more important than winning or losing the fight? Audience. Because it's an entertainment sport. Otherwise, you'd be doing it in a basement with a couple of friends. The whole point is that it's a martial arts sport. And to get to the levels of Brave and then UFC and such, these are entertainment sports. You have found the recipe and formula for the audience to get involved. Because most of the MMA promotions around that time I would go to would be very sterile. It's like walking to a hospital. You sit down, silent, fight happens, a few claps, a few here and there. Somebody drops a Coke and or something, you know. In your fight night when I went to that one, I was like, fuck, the table's gonna fucking fly. It was a proper, like everybody was going bananas. You paired shit up that you've got like their homies are sitting over there, their homies are sitting over there. When they got into the fight, my God, man. I remember, dude, there was a fighter that had like cuts all over his back. You remember that guy?
Yeah, I remember the fight you're talking about now, yes.
Woo, man. Like people started getting in the ring and out the ring. It was like you guys were trying to just contain the fucking audience. The audience was ready to fight, man. It wasn't sterile whatsoever. And I loved it. Everybody walked out. They were outside and I hear them, man. They were like fucking going wild when they left that show. And that's the point. Like that's what you got to do for MMA to blow up. And
that's right. That's right.
What do you like? What are your sights on MMA fighters coming from your gym and in the region? Like, who do you have your eye on?
Firstly, going back to the Hard Knocks event, that specific event.
Yeah.
Did you know that Bruno and Rodrigo have judged pretty much every single one of my events?
Yes.
Like, they're always there supporting me. So like, I can't do it without my team, obviously.
Yes.
So those guys, you know, everyone gets involved. So it's definitely a team event. But MMA fighters out of my gym that you know we're keeping our eyes on. There's a few guys, you know, and again we're trying to. I don't like to stick a guy like, for example, the young Cal that I mentioned. He's having his hand at jiu-jitsu now and having a bit of a dig. But I want to build him up in the Thai scene first. Get him experience, a lot more experience as amateur, maybe a pro, you know, 2 or 3 pro fights, and then throw him into MMA when he's ready. You know, a lot of people come to the gym and they're like, oh, do you do MMA classes? We don't do MMA classes because you don't do triathlon classes. Now, this is probably my very stubborn, closed-minded opinion.
No, well said, man.
Bro, you're going to do Muay Thai, you're going to do boxing, you're going to do jiu-jitsu, right? Or you're going to do wrestling. You're going to have 2 or 3 disciplines that you're going to do and you're going to compete at and you're going to get good at,
right?
As opposed to coming in the gym, doing MMA classes and being average to shit at everything, right? And then it's just a brawl, man. It's not a fight.
Yes.
You see, my guys, they all have their strengths, right? You've got, you know, guys like Marcus Paulo and Bruno that obviously jiu-jitsu based. But Bruno's had a lot of boxing fights.
Yes.
You know, whether it be amateur or professional, his stand-up is good. He's had, you know, his Thai, you know, when he spars just straight up Muay Thai. Man, a lot of people, they don't want to spar with him. He's a killer.
Yes.
You know, and then he's a black belt, BJJ black belt. So, you know, it's well-rounded. You stand up, you're going to get smashed. You're on the ground, you're going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then you've got Crazy Cameroon, whose striking power is second to none.
Yes, terrifying.
His jiu-jitsu, he was a white belt and he won by submission against a black belt, right?
Yeah.
In one of his like most recent MMA fights.
Yeah.
So, you know, like it's very much, I want to see guys succeed and have a really strong base. And then we throw them in the MMA. But, you know, like now Cameroon, he signed a Brave deal recently for a 4-fight deal with them. He just signed with a management company.
Let's go. Congrats. Yeah, so, nice, man. And are you guys managing him?
So, like, obviously, he's signed with Cobra Fitness.
Yeah.
I'm training him.
Yes.
But Sucker Punch is his manager.
Okay.
And they've got Paul Felder on the roster. They got Zhang Wei Li on the roster. That's a huge company for him.
Nice.
You know, for us to be involved with.
Beautiful.
He's coming up, you know, and Bruno and Marcus Paulo and some of the younger dudes, amateurs coming up, and you know, Caroline, stand up and straight, you know, Muay Thai fighter. She's killing it. We got a fight in Australia supposedly this year, depending how things go. You know, Milena. These girls are doing amazing things. The guys are doing amazing things. But the problem we're having at the moment, is trying to get guys like Bruno a fight.
Yes, big issue here. Like, You got to find somebody crazy enough to stand up in front of Bruno, right? And then you got to organize and time it so that it actually happens, especially with this craziness going on around us with the pandemic. So I think he's gotten to a point in his fight career that he's getting a little bit bigger than the current region's availability. Do you agree?
Like every time we put him on a show, it's always we have to fly someone in. So when he was, booked his last 2 fights, there was one guy they're going to bring from Germany. There's one guy, ex-UFC guy, they're going to bring from the US.
Okay.
So it's always fly-ins. But then, in the region, Middle East, guys in the same weight category that are claiming to be the best in the Middle East, which, they're very good fighters.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. Bruno can't get a shot at them. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's guys in the region.
Yeah, he's stuck in the middle.
He should be able to fight, but it's just hard for I don't know. They won't take the fight, or the promoters won't put it on, or whatever it is. But it's tough, man. It's tough. He's a good fighter, and it's hard to get him opponents.
It's interesting to look into the mind of like fight organizers and people involved in matchups, because this is an example of how complicated it is, because Bruno has his own team around him that wants him to succeed. Another fighter that is really good in the Middle East want him to succeed as well and don't want him to hit a brick wall, maybe like Bruno, in the near future. So it's definitely challenging, but we're slowly getting a lot of promotions. And I feel like the quality and the level is getting up there as well. Like Brave, fantastic promotion. It's a beautifully done promotion. You guys are doing the most authentics out there. UAE Warriors has a promotion as well. Do you see, do we have too many promotions? First of all, I want to ask. Or is it the right amount?
I don't think we have too many promotions. I just think it's about quality and what the plan is. You know what I mean? So like my Hard Knocks is not massive by any means.
Yes.
And it's for the region. I want to build up fighters from Abu Dhabi and from the other Emirates. You know what I mean? I'll fly in our main events just because we've got a Bruno in the main event, for example. You've got Adrian Garlonta, number 6 in the world WBC. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard to find sometimes people in the region for your main event, your co-main event.
Exactly.
But then all my undercards are always local fighters.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to do. Now, whatever other promotions, they have their vision. You know what I mean? That's their prerogative. I'm not sure what their prerogatives are, but it's I don't think there's ever too many promotions. It's just if they're, you don't want them to dilute the fight game. Promotions that put fighters on, pay them too much, when they're still relatively new. And then I put a show on and like, cool, this is what we'll pay you. They're like, oh, we just got paid X amount from them. Like, bro, you had 3 fights.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, that's where problems start to come in. But so far here, there doesn't seem to be that at the moment. That's definitely abroad that happens. But
good. Like I saw when the UFC came over, you had, it was beautiful to see teams training in different gyms in the UAE, right? And you got a feel for that as well in that time. How did it feel seeing that approach, like UFC coming here, them coming to your gym, training around your environment, that feeling, that scene? Did it sort of give you any ideas for the future?
Man, it definitely gave us some goals.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Those guys are, and everyone that we worked with at the UFC are amazing. They're amazing guys. Like all the teams were super grateful, super respectful. Can we train at this time? Is that cool? We don't want to put you out. Can we do anything for you? Like
beautiful.
Paul Felder, Bilal Muhammad, Jared Flash Gordon, Andrea Lee.
Nice.
Who else was with that crew? Their boy Craig was there. These guys are this crew was in the gym every day, and they were amazing. And then we had a surprise guest come just towards the end. It was Zhang Weili came in.
Yeah, I saw that picture.
Coach.
Wow.
Right. So they come in with UFC Abu Dhabi was here, right? Which was amazing, And as I said, the guys were so cool and amazing to meet and humble, and we've got a good relationship with them. We keep in touch and stuff, which is awesome. But then just recently, we had the Chinese team come back, and Weili done her fight camp the last few weeks of her fight camp with us before her title defense.
I was just about to ask you, like, that's what I wanted to get to, which is, when do you see fighters coming to us to do fight camps in the UAE? And it's already happening with you. So what did she come specifically for? Muay Thai?
I tell you what, So she was coming over here from Thailand on their way to Vegas. Obviously, it was just the start of the Corona situation, and
Oh, okay.
they wanted to come and do stuff here.
Hmm.
But it was really cool, man. Like I was doing an hour and a half of pads with her every day for
Whoa.
5 days leading up to that fight. And I tell you what, man, it's she is another level. She's another level. That was it's hard. And I tell you, I've never trained somebody,
Hmm.
right? And let's say we've done 8 rounds, and that's 8 5-minute rounds
Okay.
with less than a minute break. And this is not like just messing about. This is like
Ooh.
100 miles an hour, right? And then I remember she said one day, "Oh, Matt, I'm a little bit tired today after round 4." And I'm like, "Oh, are you?" Like, I couldn't tell. She's on fire. And then round 5, 6, 7, 8, it comes up a notch. Oh, I feel better now. What do you mean you feel better? We're at like the 30-minute mark.
When did you recover?
Yeah, like I'm not better. I'm fucked. So let's relax. You know what I mean? So,
Wow, man, that just shows you the level that they're training at. Like, I like DC. Daniel Cormier said something. This game has levels, and when you're at that level, it feels like that, and it must be crazy to be exposed to that. Do you see yourself as like if I was outside the UAE and I'm training, whether it's in the Middle East, whether it's in Asia? Are you a place that is open to people doing fight camps with you? Are you a place that should be contacted for such ideas?
yeah, look, we are, we're open to it, and we've had discussions with some boys from a camp in New Jersey.
Hmm.
A lot of the Russian guys are there, and they've fought on some of the Brave shows and whatnot.
Nice.
I've been in touch with one of the guys from there, the coach from there, and we're having chats about some of the boys coming out here and doing camps, and trying to get, because obviously they're out here training and they're getting exposure, and then they can get on some of the local events. So yeah, we're in chats about that, man, for sure.
Nice.
And I think this is an amazing place to be. This is home. This is an amazing place. So
100%.
you can come over here and you can get world-class jiu-jitsu. You can get amazing stand-up, and you're in an amazing country. So why wouldn't you?
Have you tried any jiu-jitsu?
I have, a long time ago.
Okay, good. So, but why don't you get into it and try a little bit more?
Man, I'll be honest with you, because I'm not flexible. That's for starters.
Okay.
And I don't want to tap. And I did it once.
Okay.
I did maybe 5 or 6 sessions, and I was like, getting into it, and I actually really hurt my neck, man. I really had a real problem for a little while, and I couldn't hold pads and I couldn't do stuff. And I sort of had a bulging disc. So it was my own stupid fault for sure. I didn't do what I was supposed to do, because that's the only way you're going to get hurt, being an idiot. And I was definitely an idiot. So I paid for that, and I'm like, well, you know what? I'll just stick to getting punched in the head, and that's me.
It's interesting. Jiu-jitsu is one of those beautiful, beautiful martial arts that it pays to start earlier. It's not terrible if you start late. Like I started at 26, 27. But it is a lot more difficult on the body when you start later. And you're a guy, like I remember we once had a conversation at 86 when you came by, and you were talking to me about like your creatinine levels in your body from the amount of inflammation from how much you work out. Like you're not just doing 2 hours of working out, 3 hours per day. You're working out from morning to night. So when you add to that a sport like jiu-jitsu, which is completely different than what your body's used to, I totally understand. Absolutely. Can you hear me, or is it cutting?
Yeah, just cut out a little bit. So when you add to that?
Yeah, so when you add to that, it's a recipe for injury, like especially on the neck and tight muscles on the shoulder. So Matt, tell me something. You're not just martial arts oriented, you're also fitness oriented. And when it comes to strength and conditioning for fighters, what's your philosophy? What kind of training is the training you would train your own fighters?
Look, we've done some stuff today, some of the boys, and it was we've done a double session today. But it's always like, maybe, I'm a bit of a crazy person, but it's always like, what's next? It's never, we don't want to finish. We're not going to, oh, how'd you go, man? You're done, your 20 press ups, or you've done your 20 squats, or you've done your sprints. If you finished it, well, then we didn't do enough. Nice. You know what I mean? It's always, if you can finish, it's easy. You know what I mean? And that's the mentality. Like, I'm drilling into my boys regularly. You're never going to lose. You're never going to lose a fight. You're never going to lose. You're going to get beat. You're going to get beat. So either they beat you or you win. You know what I mean? It's not which if you understand what I mean,
100%.
like losing is allowing it to happen.
Yes.
I'm not going to allow it to happen. They're going to be better than you, or you're going to beat them.
Absolutely.
And that's the mentality we have going into every fight. You're always going to be fitter. You're always going to be stronger. So the only way you're coming out without that W is if they're better than you.
Wow. And that's very difficult to do when you're working like that. For somebody to be better than you when you put that kind of work ethic and mentality. And like the guys that you're resoundingly talking about, like Bruno, Rodrigo, Marcos Paulo, these and the Crazy Cameroon, I know what you're talking about. These guys don't pause. They don't stop. You don't need to tell them, hey, do one more. They're doing it before you talk. Wow. I like that.
It helps. The discipline, the boys having the discipline, man, it really, really helps. And, you know, you've got some guys that are, especially, you know, in the region that are amazing fighters. Mm-hmm. Really technical. That's cool. You know, some of my boys, they're very technical fighters, but if they're not as technical, they're going to have more heart, or they're going to have more discipline, or they're going to have more strength, they're going to have more endurance. They're going to have something that's going to take them over the line. That's what we're pushing for, you know.
Nice.
Everyone's got their strengths, but we're going to make sure that we got plenty, you know.
How do you balance that? Like for a fighter, cardio is a very important thing. Do you have a balanced workout where you train cardio specific and then the like sports specific training, or is it just all one?
No, we definitely have a very, very strict fight camp, if you will. Depending on the time frame, obviously I usually keep my boys, or try and keep them, you know, at around the 60-70% mark all the time. Because, you know, you get that time where, listen, man, a guy's pulled out, you can get ready in 10 days or whatever. And they're the opportunities. If you miss those opportunities, you don't get them again. Yes. You know what I mean? So we try and always keep at the 60-70% level. So we've got those opportunities, but then when it's time, you know, we definitely have, it's depending on the length, we definitely have very specific, as I said to you, we just started recently for something that should be happening soon.
Okay.
Some exciting news that hasn't been released yet.
Nice.
You know, we're starting for that. So now it's very, very strict because the time frame's a little bit shorter. So it's twice the work, but you know, we're going to get it done, and it is strict. And again, I got help, man. I got, you know, guys like Rodrigo and Bruno and that come down and help me out.
The heavyweights of experience, man. Do you, like, how do you get the mind on board with the body? Is it like you're saying brute strength and just getting those reps and having that confidence in your workout? Or do you do some kind of, do you focus on any sports psychology?
So it's definitely just things that I've learned myself over the years, but there's a trick there. Obviously, I don't want to say too much.
No, don't. But like, give us the gist of it. Like your bread and butter is crafting real proper fighters. I understand that, but I would be remiss not to even ask somebody at your caliber of training. What kind of advice would you give us, the jiu-jitsu community? We fight jiu-jitsu, we go into fights. What kind of mindset do you tell people to adopt when they're going into a fight?
So this is the thing, and this is what's really interesting about what we do, whether it's jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, you know, whatever you do. Every single individual is wired differently. Right. So, you know, I've got, and I really try, and that's when we're doing, you know, when we're doing our pads, when we're doing our, you know, when I'm doing a lot of one-on-one stuff with guys leading up to a fight, you sort of get their psyche a little bit more, or you try and get as much as you can, because that's the changing moment, you know, just before they're stepping into the cage, or whilst you're warming up at the back, or just before they walk down the catwalk, or, you know, in the corner between the rounds. There's no, come on, man, yeah, just go forward and, you know, do this and that and da-da-da. Cool. Like anyone can do that. Right. Anyone can just tell, you know, yeah, man, keep moving forward, you know, check, you know, block your kicks, you know, whatever. Easy. It's easy. But they know that because they've trained that, and they're already at X amount of fights. They're already professional fighters. They already know all those techniques. Right. But it's about the minute or 2 minutes you have break between rounds to get inside and make sure everything's sweet and change what you need to change. And and like, if I speak to Cameroon and I speak to Caroline, for example, it's two very different attitudes, or two very different methods of attack. You know what I mean? Yes. And you need to have that with every individual. You can't sort of have it as a broad spectrum. You know what I mean? It's specific. A coach to student or fighter relationship. That's the gem of it. And with jiu-jitsu, you see that, like with the UAE Jiu-Jitsu Federation, with the World Pros, the Emirati national team. Most Emirati fighters right now, it's beautiful to see they've got a specific coach for them that they've like sort of grown up learning from.
and you see that bond, that relationship. They talk to them in a way, you see their eyes go panicked sometimes. They're going up to a fight. You feel them panic. They have a few words with the coach and their face just shifts. It's like fucking a light went on in their head and they go killer mode. And I get exactly what you're saying. There's no way to generalize it. It's a matter of having a connection with a person you trust, just like a personal trainer, right? Not to drop it down all that way, but I mean, there is that level of you got to trust your body to the person that you've chosen to guide you, right? And that trust gives you a freedom to act without repercussion, right? And that's important to have. So well said, man. I get you. I get you 100%.
It's definitely based on trust, brother. If there's no trust or there's doubt, there can't be any doubt. Yeah. If there's any doubt, then you're not trusting what I'm telling you. You're not believing what's happening, and then it's just sort of a spiral. You know what I mean? If I haven't been training that person, like I won't be in the corner with that person because it's not the relationship we built. Whoever's been training that person will step in the corner with them because that's their coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get you. That's the experience you have to make that call. It's doubt. Doubt is a big thing that you touched up on here that a lot of us struggle with. We doubt our ability. We doubt our cardio. We doubt our nutrition. And that's because we didn't put in the time and the work. And that's the message I think that everybody can benefit from listening to you is put in the fucking work, right? You're a cool, awesome, considerate, nice guy. Everybody watches you now. They see how cool and down to earth you are. But when it comes to the fight game, you're tough and strict on it because you don't want your guys to suffer when the time counts, right? Suffer around me rather than suffering around a stranger. That's the attitude I get from you.
Suffer in the gym, not in the cage.
Yeah. That's a beautiful message, man. What are you up to? What is new? What should we be watching out for with what you're doing? Is there something you want to like shoot out there, let everybody know?
So besides the current lockdown situation, we're doing the online videos and stuff, which is cool. Again, that's just for, keeping people fit, trying to keep mentally fit, stimulated and enjoying themselves.
Sure.
We're doing that. As I said, there's some announcements coming soon, not from us, but hopefully it'll be something coming in the next month or so. And you'll see a few of our boys on that event.
Yes.
As I said, we're getting ready as we speak.
We need it.
All right, so there's a few sore legs at home tonight, trust me. So yeah, that's what's happening at the moment. Cobra Fitness is a gym, we're doing good. Bahrain's doing great. They came second in the BJJ championships for the year last year, the first year they opened, which is awesome. And we're looking at stepping into Thailand. We've got a location locked in Thailand, and we're going to build a little facility over there that.
I love it. It's falling together, man. Training camp heaven. Let's go.
100%, bro. 100%. It's going to be a really nice facility. Again, it's locked in, but nothing's started yet. It's going to be a bit of a process, but full MMA facility, camp, food, everything. So it's like me and Mira put heads together. You've got the food in one joint, you've got the training in the one joint, and you're good to go, man. So
amazing, man. Listen, I'm so excited to see anything you come up with. And for everybody listening, just keep tabs on Matt, because if you want to have your finger on what's going to happen in the near future, he's the guy to follow. I'm amazed by you. Honestly, man, I appreciate you spending the time here. You're a very busy guy. You're very humble. And it's important for your voice to be out there. You have so much experience. Like, there's a certain point, with teaching, you learn so much. And then if you don't share that, it's not to call it a waste, but there's so much to gain from it. And these kind of platforms, I hope to see you more on. People need to learn more from you on this. And man, I'm a fan. I just can't wait to see the next thing you're up to.
Brother, thank you so much for inviting me on.
Habibi.
It's been a pleasure. I love this. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
This is amazing. I watched your first episode when Rodrigo was on there, obviously, because he's my man and was,
yes,
checking what he's doing. This is cool. It's like, there should be more of this, man. It's real. You know what I mean? It's real. It's just shooting the shit, but no rubbish on top. It's just straight up. I like it, man. It's good. Now, I really appreciate being here with the caliber of guys you had on here. It's an honor for me, man. So
Habibi, it's an honor for us as well. Thank you so much for doing this. Everybody tuning in on YouTube, I hope you had a good time listening to Matt. I have a question here, actually, just before we end this. Dryden is asking any diet recommendations, whether it is for fitness or for fighting.
So actually, let me tell you, that's a very good question.
All right, Dryden.
We are just starting. as of tomorrow,
Woo!
we're doing a Cobra Fitness nutrition plan. So there's an email address. I'm going to give you all the details. You can post it if you
Yes.
want afterwards.
Yes.
There's an email address, and it'll be posted on my Instagram.
Okay.
Basically, you have options, and it's all broad range again because it's for the people. You can have nutrition plans given to you.
Okay.
You can have nutrition plans and coaching once a week given to you, or if you're like me and you can't cook anything and you burn toast, you can have nutrition plans designed for you and the meals delivered. So we're doing the whole situation.
Wow.
I'm going to post everything about that. And if you're on board, jump on, you love it.
Sign me up. I'm going to sign up for that immediately. I'm down for that. I actually need it. Like with Ramadan, everything goes to shit. And with this pandemic, I need to get back on track, and I'm going to be signing up for that. There you have it. I'm glad. Thank you, Dryden, for bringing that up.
Man.
There's a nice little added value to this.
Perfect. It'll slip my mind. Right?
There you go.
We're focusing on marketing, and I didn't mention it once.
Dude, that's the beauty of this format, Matt. Like, it's like you said, shooting the shit. You talk, it comes out naturally, and then you engage with the people live. Most people that can't ask you these questions or feel like they can't just go there, hey, Matt, answer this. They get in touch with you that way, and I'm sure that you'll develop friendships from that. So thank you much, guys, for tuning on YouTube. This will be up very shortly after it processes. Then I'll have it up on the audio formats for everybody to consume the way they prefer. Much love, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Cheers.